Hey, it's Sasha Evdokov, and thanks for joining me in the next series of the TradeKing Review. Now in this series, this is the final series of the TradeKing Review, and in this video, what I'm going to do is review the options segment of the TradeKing Live platform. I know that sometimes option traders are a little bit different than regular traders or stock traders just because they need different tools and requirements. So in this video, what I'd like to do is share with you some of my insights behind the TradeKing platform for trading options. Now, I will tell you, I found that the options platform is probably my #2 favorite options platform so far out of the 6 or 7 brokers that I am signed up to. So it is a fantastic platform. It's great for option traders, but I want to share with you the insights behind looking at option spreads, trading those option spreads within the platform. So that way you get an insight to see if it's something that you like, it's something that you can connect with, and if the platform is easy for you. So let's go ahead and look at that review and tutorial. But remember, if you want to see some of the other videos that I've made, like the tutorials on other brokers or even the sign up process, then just take a look at some of my other videos in my channel or on my website. So let's get started on the options segment of the TradeKing platform. All right, so welcome, and in this video, I'd like to share with you the options section behind TradeKing and just how the option spreads look like in the trading platform of TradeKing. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to log into the system right there and sign in with our username and password. Once we've done that, we'll go ahead and just open up the TradeKing Live platform, and that'll get us into the platform and the browser. So here you can see that I have a few different panels and widgets already set up. Now, we did go over this in another video about the dashboard and just how things work within the dashboard, as well as your accounts, the research, the tools. So all these different things we did talk about in another video. So go ahead and take a look at that if you want to see more information about this dashboard and so forth. But if you're looking at options and trading options, you'll probably be hanging out in this region mostly. Now, with options, when it comes to stocks, here's the option display in TradeKing, and this is what it looks like. Now, the beauty behind this is you can extend these spreads and these contracts from month to month. So here in this example, you can see that we have July 17th as the expiration, and that would be in 7 days. Now, right here, we've opened it up, and you can see the calls here on the left and the puts here on the right. If you want to change the stock symbol, you can go ahead and type in a different stock symbol, and then the options will populate. But unfortunately, you do have to then, if you want wider spreads, to go ahead and use that little range bar. Now, if you want to see more dates than just this month's, you can go ahead and click this expiration dates, and you can go ahead and see the July ones and see the August ones. So some of these are weekly options as well, but if you start populating some of those, then what you can do is scroll down, and you can see that here we have the July 24th, and that's in 14 days. Obviously, those are the weeklies and non-standards. You have the July 31st in 21 days. And so forth. So you have all these different option contracts that are now loaded, again, with the calls on the left and the puts on the right. Now, as we continue to scroll down, one of the things that I do like about TradeKing is actually the ability to take a look at the profit pictures. So once we got down here, you can see it kind of loading up these different options and so forth. It does take a little bit of time in this browser-based system, especially because we have so many strike prices. So one thing to keep in mind is that it is a little laggy if you display a ton of option contracts. So we're going to condense that, and we'll only do just a handful of expiration dates. So here we go. I have 2 expiration dates. You can see that the earnings date is 7/15, which is actually only 5 days away. Now, as I go down towards the bottom, now you can see this option strategy workbench here, and the option analysis. And that really comes up a little bit more as you start selecting and picking options. So what I'll do to pick my options, let's just say we're doing a vertical bullish spread. So what I'll do is I'll buy one and then I'll sell one at a higher price. So in order to do that, you have to click it twice. So notice when you click once, it's a buy, then a sell, then back to even. So we'll go to the sell, and now as we scroll down, you can go to the option workbench, and you can see that we have the two legs here that we've selected. So we have one quantity on the buy and one quantity on the sell. If we want to populate the option analysis, which gives us a profit picture, I can go ahead and click that arrow, and that populates that analysis and opens it up. However, I did find that this is a little laggy, as you can see that it took a few extra seconds to load that up. However, I do like the way that they create the profit picture. It's still, from my opinion, not as good as the Thinkorswim platform, but it's still very good in the fact that you can see these option legs and option spreads. So you can see that here we have the option side right here that also shows you what you're doing within the options. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and zoom out, and that takes a little bit of time to, again, readjust the position. So it's not as smooth to readjust the position. And if you're looking to, be quick on this chart, it does take a little bit of time to load things. So if I hit that zoom out button, you can see it takes a moment and then it populates it. But the beauty is that you do get to see a very nice chart and graph, and it's friendly to use in terms of seeing what your profit potential would be. Much better than the Scottrade version, from my opinion, because Scottrade does not have this profit and loss dynamic thing to be able to see it. It doesn't have a profit picture. You can see that you have an expiration here at 8/7/2015. So the fact is that if you were right here towards the expiration time, you would have a profit of $77. As you move up, you can see the chart changing. You would have $90, $100 profit. And if you waited all the way till expiration, it would be $275 profit. Now what you can do is you can adjust these spread amounts, and you can change them, and that should adjust your profit picture right here. But you do have to make sure you hit that refresh button at the top, but it does make that adjustments. Now I'm not really sure why it has the buy order here and the buy order there, because you would actually be buying one and selling one in order to do the vertical spread. So let me clear these out, and let's put on a iron condor spread and show you what that looks like, just so you get an idea. So I'll go ahead and hit that delete button on these, and again, notice after I hit them, it does take a few seconds for it to get rid of them. It is a hair bit laggy if you're used to working on quick systems. And primarily that is because it's a browser-based system, so it's pretty normal. It's not anything not standard, but usually if you download a software program to your machine, it'll probably be much quicker. But nevertheless, I still like the platform for options quite a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is set up an iron condor for Apple. And just to share with you another version or view of how these things look or appear on the TradeKing panel for these profit pictures. Now you can see here we're on August 21st, 37 days out, and basically with 37 days out, that's a good time to put on an iron condor. Now, this isn't one I would put on right now. It's just to show you what the profit picture is going to look like, just to give you some insight or idea. Now, with the TradeKing panel, you do need to know how to create the spreads. I didn't see, or I don't see any way to, select iron condors in here, or to right click and say, hey, I want to create an iron condor spread. So there's no way to do that, kind of like with some of the other panels. So you do have to know how to create your spread when you're looking at the panel. So you do need to know how many legs legs you need to buy. You do need to know which legs you want to buy. So it is probably geared towards, even though the use and functionality of it is more basic and it's very friendly, I would say you have to know and have a higher understanding of knowledge to use the panel if you want to make complex spreads. However, it's still one of my more favorite panel right there, right behind the Thinkorswim platform. But it's a really great panel, way above many other option panels that you can get at most brokers. So it's definitely a fantastic panel. But in order to create our iron condor spread, what we have to do is sell two verticals. So what we're going to do that is we'll go ahead and we'll sell one here, and then we'll buy one here for protection, and the same thing over here. So we'll go ahead and sell one here and buy one for protection. So now these spreads populate right here, and you can see that our net theta is $4.55. That means every day we would be making $4.55 from option deterioration if the stock stood still. Now, of course, this does increase day in and day out. After every single day, this does get larger and larger as we get closer to expiration. So we have a net vega here of -15, a net gamma of -3, and a net delta of about 7. So as we continue to scroll down, the target date is, it's putting in this line of where it would be based on this profit curve. But today's date is not that date. So I want to see where is the stock today. And for that, we put in today's date, which actually is the 15th. So you can see that we're right under even a profit because we have that zero line right there. But our iron condor spread is populated right here, and you can see it on the graph right there. So it came out and created it pretty well. You can go ahead and zoom in if you want to get closer, but you can see our protection is at about $800, so our max loss is $778. But here's the curve. Basically, we're starting at nearly zero, not making any money. But as time moves on, so what I could do is shift this target date. So let's say we go to next week on the 24th, this profit line, this curve is going to rise up closer to this top curve, to this top line right there, because our maximum that we can make is profit at expiration is $222. So that's our maximum we can make if the stock stays between these regions, between 120 and 135. But that usually isn't the case, and we usually want to sell the position off before then. So as this continues to move higher and higher as things expire and options deteriorate, you would make here $54. So if you continue to move this date and you go to, let's say, the 31st, you can see that that line gets even closer. You would be at $99 profitability. So that's kind of what the iron condor looks like here on the TradeKing panel. I do like the fact that you can switch and move the target date. What I do wish that they had was changing the ability of these strike prices and adjusting them. But you can check mark some of these and just look at the single spread or the single leg right here and see how that looks. Or you can put the other ones back on. So you could go ahead and do it that way to see how the iron condor is composed or created. But unfortunately, you do need some basic knowledge in order to really come up and create these different spreads. If you don't know how to create those spreads, the Thinkorswim platform is a little bit better. But overall, this is still one heck of a platform for options, and I would still say I give it a very good rating because it does have these profit pictures. Some of the other brokers I've looked at, they don't even have these profit pictures where you see what your profit would be and your target would be. So this is definitely a leg up or a step up, and it looks great if you're trying to build complex trades. Now, one other thing I do want to mention is if you go to the dashboard and you have a watch list, the other way you can go to these option trades is you can go to the stock itself and you can just click option chain and it'll move it over here. And you can switch on the drop down and go to maybe like a 37-day, and now you can start selecting. You can start selecting your spreads, and it tells you kind of the spread that you have. So it's a custom strategy there, or what we can do is mix and match and see what happens here. We got a buy and a sell. Okay, so it's a custom strategy. Anyway, but you can mix and match here, and then when you click trade, you'll go ahead and see it here on the right side where you can make other adjustments and then actually preview your order and add the order in. All right, so there you go. That's basically the options panel overview in the TradeKing. I would think that you would probably be mostly in this option tools, under tools, and playing around in this area, and then also in the option analysis part. But overall, very good tool, and I hope you got a lot out of this little review. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you got a lot of insight regarding trading options and creating this spread. So I did find that the platform was fantastic for option trading. Having that profitability curve and chart, that profit picture, is really something that I always look for in a trading platform, especially if you're new or even intermediate in option trading. You definitely want to see the panel, the platform. You want to be able to manipulate it. Some of the struggles I had with the options segment was that the panel was a little bit laggy, but that's just because it's online based. So to load all that data does take a little bit of time. It goes through the server. So be prepared. It has a hair bit of a lag, but nothing major that, would brush me away from the platform. Now the profit picture, it wasn't fully adjustable, like you couldn't shift the strike prices or the months once they were already on there. So it didn't have like a full usage flexibility utility there, and you couldn't stretch the things. You could only zoom in and out. You couldn't stretch the profit picture. But overall, you could really do great things with it, and it's a very superior panel compared to many other brokers out there. So at this point, I would probably rate it as my #2 favorite ease of use options trading platform, because it's just so friendly, very modern, very sleek, and pretty easy to use. So definitely great. Besides a little bit of a lag and besides a little bit of that flexibility, it's just a fantastic and awesome platform. So if you enjoyed this review and you want to see some of the other reviews that I have on maybe some other brokers, click one of the thumbnails right below this video and you'll go ahead and start watching some of those reviews right away. But if you want to see some of my more in-depth courses, some of my in-depth trainings, or even some of the stocks that I'm watching in the current market conditions, you can get that by getting on the newsletter list. And to do that, just click this link right up here. When you get there, enter your name and email address, and you'll get those newsletters every Thursday. Thanks again for joining me, and remember to do what you love, contribute to others, and most importantly, live life abundantly. I'll see you next time.